followed along last year, you saw that I did my first ever bikini show. Well, my first two ever bikini shows. I'd switched from spending almost 8 years as a figure competitor over to bikini. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll put the link to that video down below. You can kind of learn a little bit on my journey and why I decided I wanted to do bikini. So my main purpose for trying out bikini last year and kind of coaching myself along the process is to see if that's a division I actually enjoyed competing in. The good news is, as I suspected, I found out I love competing in bikini. The biggest challenge I thought I would have was the stage presence, and while that was still hard for me, I still enjoy the process of changing my physique, setting goals, and getting on stage. So as I enter 2021, I'm really excited for some new progress and changes in the future. As I mentioned last year, I coached myself. I've coached myself a few years in figure, but I've always hired a coach when I wanted to go to the next level and when I wanted to get a little bit better, when it wasn't just for fun anymore, when I was starting to get a little bit of that competitive edge. So this year I have hired a bikini coach. I started in the first week of January to kind of set my sights out for 2021. And I'm working with Paul from Team Pro Physique down in Florida. A little bit later, I'll go into why I chose Team Pro Physique and to work with Paul, but so far we're about 6 weeks into coaching, focusing on growth through my glutes, through my shoulders, focusing on my nutrition, and I've absolutely loved the process. Working with him is great. I have nothing but great feedback for anybody who's looking to hire a coach, and Paul in particular. So what I wanted to do is walk you guys through a little bit of what my life kind of looks like as I'm in right now an off season, or some people like to phrase as an improvement season. But my goal right now is to just grow muscle in certain areas that I need development. So for me, that's primarily my glutes, shoulders, and back, and really see what I can build before I start cutting and stepping on stage. So follow along a little bit as I walk you through what some of my workouts look like, what some of my nutrition looks like, and you guys can kind of get a look into my life in the off season. All right, so I'm getting ready to head to the gym right now. Before we go to the gym, I wanna show you what I mix up in my shaker cup to take with me to the gym. But I wanna talk a little bit about the workouts I've been doing with Paul. So they've been different than what I've done in the past. He has me lifting 5 days a week, doing 10 minutes of cardio each of those times. But one of the main differences is that he has me every day except for 1 day of the week, has me lifting upper body and lower body, which is just something totally different from what I've done before. Typically, I focus on just one muscle group. Maybe I'll hit a couple different muscle groups in a workout, but never really split upper and lower body. It's probably been like 6 years since I've actually combined upper and lower body together. So I'm really liking it, love the changes. And again, I'll kind of recap some of my workouts and why I enjoy working with Paul in another video. All right, so during my workout, I always drink BCAAs. I use the Core ABC. I usually have about 5 different flavors on hand so I can rotate through. This one is the blueberry acai, so obviously like a fruity blueberry flavor. But I mix 2 scoops of that plus a scoop of creatine. So right now, this is one Chris had just ordered online during quarantine a while ago when we weren't at the gym all the time, so we couldn't get the Core Nutritionals one. But typically the creatine, the Core Nutritionals creatine, comes from their commodities line, which looks like this. Obviously, this is BCAAs, not creatine. I just wanted to show you what the case looks like. But it is colorless, tasteless powder. So I'll do about 5 grams of creatine in with my 2 scoops of ABCs. You're ever curious about learning everything that I have in my supplement cabinet? I actually put together a video about what's in my supplement cabinet, including some different recipes that I like to make with some, especially the protein powders. But if you guys are curious at all, you can go check that out. I'll link that one down below as well. All right, so in here, I've got my 2 scoops of Core ABCs, my branched chain amino acids, Each scoop is 10 grams, so 20 grams total, plus 5 grams of creatine. And what I'll do is I'll just drink this throughout my workout. When I get about halfway down, I'll just fill it up with more water to dilute it. It's a little sweet at the start, but this is what gets me through my workout. All right, good morning, guys. So today is a Thursday, which means I have a check-in with my coach. There's Flex checking out. There's a little bit of snow outside. But anyways, with the check-ins with my coach, I check in every Thursday. I will weigh myself, send in my weight compared to last week. I'll take a measurement of my waist, and I'll send that to him as well. And then I'll also do progress pictures, so from the front and from the back, and then I'll practice posing a little bit. So I'll go ahead, email that over to him and wait for his response. So I also want to show you guys what I typically take for supplements first thing in the morning. Every morning when I make my coffee, I'll put in some creamer, but then I also mix collagen in with it. So that gives me just a little more protein throughout the day, but it also helps with skin, hair, nails, all that stuff. And then I'll take the Core Omega, which is a fish oil, the Core Multi, which is a multivitamin, Core Flex, which is a glucosamine supplement, and then I'll mix greens in a shaker cup, and then I drink that kind of throughout the morning. So those are the supplements I usually have first thing in the morning.